ああとは、ローラが入ってくれるのを待つ。あ、って言うてもまだ来ないから。時間 Okay, so thank you for watching DevRel Asia 2020. In this time, I will introduce our awesome speakers and their talk in 15 minutes. Today's guest is Mari at Camunda. Welcome, Mari. Hi, Mari.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
How are you? Oh, yeah, thank you. And you live in California, right?
Yeah, San Francisco.
Okay, so maybe it's evening, right?
Yes, I am wrapping up my day. It's about 5:30.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So first, could you introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, so my name is Mary Thengvall. I am the Director of Developer Relations at Camunda. I've been doing developer relations and developer community work for over 10 years now, and just really over these past few years have loved creating and providing resources to give back to the community. So I've been creating a lot of things that I wish I had when I was first getting started in developer relations, and really trying to give back to this awesome community and drive the industry as a whole forward.
Okay, so I think there is several type of communities, like a real community, online community, just specific technology community, or directors, or social community, or something. So what type of community your favorite one?
Sure. I don't know. It's hard to choose. I've spent a lot of times in a variety of technical communities, which I love. I'm definitely missing the in-person communities, the conferences and things right now for sure.
I see. And in 10 years or more, you you make community continuously. So what do you think about what is different, or what is changing the community style in 10 years or more?
Sure. So I think these days people are looking for community more than ever. So they're really looking for who is doing things similar to what I'm doing online. They're very interested in connecting with other people who are doing that, because they're finding that they get more help, they get more answers, they get better answers from people who are doing similar things, who are looking for similar solutions. So they're that much more likely to seek out those communities than I think we ever have been in the past.
I see. So, and please give me an idea. So, what is different or what is changing after COVID-19? Like we have to stay in the home, and we have to we can't meet each other as well. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot for DevRel teams around the world. People who used to be traveling and on the road a lot are now home constantly. So for a lot of teams, it's changed their strategies. It's changed how they're approaching developer relations and really how effective they are. I think in a good way. I think a lot of people are finally starting to see that speaking at conferences isn't always what has to be happening, right? It's not only speaking at conferences. It's not only traveling in person. There's a lot of other ways that we can be truly effective and reach a wide variety of developers around the world.
I see. In my friends, he afraid to boarding the plane or airplane. So, and he don't like to traveling around the world. So he enjoy in this time. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's nice to be home.
No, yeah. So we move to the second topic, to your talk.
Sure.
So in the Asia, like Korea or China, there is no culture of developer relation yet. So, but they want to introduce or they want to import developer relation in their country. But every time, every company consider about what is the goal of developer relations, right? So I think your talk is best fit for their market, I think.
Perfect.
So, yeah. So please introduce summary or abstract of your talk.
Sure. So this talk came out of hearing so many people wondering, how do I figure out what my goal as a team is, right? What should our main goal as a team be? But also so many people asking, how do I prove our value? And I think there's a huge connection there, because so often we're trying to form these specialized goals that, you know, only developer relations can do this thing. And that's not necessarily wrong. But I think so often we try to find our own special goals that we tend to stray away from the company goals, when what we should be doing instead is saying, what are the major company goals and how can we help push those forward in our own unique way? So, you know, if the company is trying to gain more customers, we can work on developer awareness. We can work on making sure that our website actually directs developers in the right places. We can make sure that the onboarding experience for developers is the best that it can possibly be, so that when people do find us, they know exactly what to do next. And so I think instead of trying to focus so much on what's the unique thing that we can possibly do, it's more important to focus on how can we help push the company goals forward with our unique skills and specialties that really set us apart from the rest of the company.
I see. So I think every company needs one solution or one answers directly, right? But it's very difficult to explain what is DevRel and what is the goal of DevRel. So they have to understand to their own goal, right?
Right. And I think that also helps people be more secure in their roles. Because if you can show everything that I am working on ends up benefiting this overarching company goal, it's that much easier when someone comes along and says, but what's the value that your team brings? And you go, well, this was the overarching company goal. We benefited it in these ways. We pushed it forward in these ways. And it makes a much stronger case for what we can do for the overarching community, and also helps save our jobs at the end of the day, which is a nice bonus.
I see. And what do you think about community support the company goals or not?
I absolutely think that it does. So I think no matter what the company goals are, you can always find ways to support the community and also drive those goals forward. So you might be supporting the community by figuring out, we have developers who are programming using different programming languages than what we currently support. Let's make sure to move that forward. And that generates more awareness and potentially more people using your product, but also supports the community, because you're seeing, hey, JavaScript developers are really into what we're doing, but we don't support them well. Let's enable them better, which also drives awareness, but also helps with the enablement side of developer relations. And you're engaging with this other community that you haven't been engaging with previously. And so there's so many different ways that you can kind of connect that and pull it back to, we're helping increase the number of customers, or we're helping reduce churn. We're making sure that developers have the best experience possible so that there's no reason why they would want to leave, which means the salespeople are going to be happy at the end of the day, right? Because we aren't losing customers. Our customer success team is going to love us. But we're also really benefiting the community. And so I think the key is really keeping that balance in mind, right? If we have to continue to benefit the community, but we also have to benefit the company, or else it's hard to justify why we're working at the company at the end of the day.
I see. So I think community managers in works at vendor or some companies who can make balance of community and the companies.
Yeah.
So I think you are community managers, and what is important capability of community managers?
That's a great question. One of the biggest things that I always look for is empathy. So someone who is able to hear feedback that the community is giving and accept it and ask for more information, and then translate that back to internally to the company. And so the empathy to sit there and say, yes, I hear where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but they can also communicate that empathy and communicate that situation that the community member is having back to their engineering team, back to their product team, to really make sure that that can be accomplished and can be fixed. The other thing I look for is someone who is always interested in learning, because if I'm always interested in learning, then I'm constantly going to be curious about what other communities are out there. What other things are they interested in? How can I better help them? And I'm also that much more likely to be interested in teaching other people and giving them more examples to go with as well. Because if I'm curious about what's going on, I'm that much more likely to discover other things that people find interesting, and then be able to better serve our community and our company, because I'm able to take those insights back to the company and say, hey, here's the new trends that I'm seeing, as well as help serve the community, because I'm then introducing those trends internally at the company and saying, here's some of the things that we really need to be aware of.
I see. Okay. And Russ, this is not questions. I want to know about your book, The Business Value of Developer Relations. You wrote it. So I already read it, and it's very good book for developer relations. So please introduce your book for watching people.
Sure. So it's kind of divided into two sections. The first is what is developer relations and why do I need it? How do I make a case for it at my company? And the second half is, cool, you've got a developer relations team or a developer relations professional internally now. What's some of the practical application? What can we do? And so it's split up into these two sections because I really think we have to establish the foundation of what's the value that we bring to the company as well as the community. How do we make that case internally to be able to establish that team? But then also, once it's established, how do we move forward and what can we really take away from it? But also, how do we set it up for success down the road?
I see. Thank you. So, and I don't know who started the advocate transform to the avocado. So your book cover, there is a lot of avocado on the page. So,
yes. Yeah. So this was started back when I was at a company called SparkPost, and a couple of my coworkers really loved avocados, and one of our program managers had a hard time saying developer advocate when she got talking quickly, and so it would come out developer avocado occasionally. And so we wound up sitting down one day and coming up with this whole analogy behind it to help our coworkers and people around us understand a little bit better of what developer advocacy is, what developer relations is. And we wound up coming up with this analogy of, you know, avocados are often referred to as the good kind of fat. Developer relations can sometimes be seen as a fatty department or an expensive department because people don't understand what we do, but we wind up, you know, traveling a lot for conferences or sponsoring events or sponsoring communities, things like that. And so helping people understand more that, like, yes, it can be expensive, it can be quote unquote fatty, but used in the right ways at the right times with the right combination of things, it's healthy for the community, it's healthy for the company, and can really pay off in the long run. And so we kind of ran with that analogy and have used it in a number of different places now, and it's really paid off. And so my, at that time, developer advocate coworker, Adrian Howard, and I really kind of went running with that analogy and have used it a lot since then. I used it when I was consulting, and it really helped people kind of understand some of the different ways that developer relations is effective. And it's been a fun analogy along the way to kind of help people better understand developer relations as a whole.
I see. I think avocado is very good character of developer relations. So
yeah, I agree. It's fun. It's fun.
I see. Okay, Mari. So thank you for watching, everyone. We will meet next interview time. So see you then. Bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.